Burgundy Ballers, welcome back to the Ballin and Burgundy podcast, where we hit you with everything Commanders related and a sprinkle of college football because we like to dabble in the arts. Two things. First of all, don't hit like and subscribe. Don't forget the little post notification bell to know every time we upload. And secondly, we got a big time guest. Justin is obviously working. You all know that he's a firefighter, so obviously, one's in the chat, prayers up for him. But we got a man who is just an icon in the podcasting, the Commanders fan base. Which is one of the guys, family here at BIB, his family over at Command Central, the host of the Rambling with Rio podcast, the one, the only Rio Robinson. Welcome back.
What's going on, fellas? How y'all feeling right now? I know. It's the typical life of a Washington fan. It's always something, though. We never run out of things to talk about, right?
No, never. Never.
Oh yeah, appreciate that. Appreciate the high praise, man. I love this stuff, man. I love this content game, man. And we gotta get y'all up to that 1K mark, man.
Hey, we're trying to get to 100. We're trying to make it to 100.
Man, shoot higher than that. You're gonna get there, man. It brick by brick. Keep building it, man. And we got big news coming for the team. And the better the team gets, the more views and clicks all of us get. So you just gotta keep pushing at it, man.
Absolutely. Guys, he obviously, like I said, don't forget to subscribe to us, but don't forget to hit like and subscribe over on his Instagram, his YouTube, all the things, all that's in the link in the description. All of it will be here on screen. You guys know the drill. We got a big episode, but before we get into that, from myself, Andrew, Justin, I think Rio, Tony would all share the same sentiments. Prayers up for the Nashville community. The elementary school shooting is an unfortunate situation. School shooting itself is just a bad thing. I think we can all agree, but in elementary school especially. So prayers up for those families. 6 were killed, 3 students and 3 teachers. So prayers out to those communities. The Deckett's Haas family, the Scruggs family, the Kinley family, the Peak family, the Hill family, and the Coots family. If I said those names wrong, I do apologize. But all of our thoughts, prayers, love out for that community. We will have nothing but love and prayers for you guys. Just an unfortunate situation. This whole gun debate, I don't want to get political. This is football, but I think there's always going to be sides to this gun debate. There's always sides to this school security debate. Myself in college, Andrew's in high school, Rio, you're obviously more of an adult than the both of us, but I think we all agree that stuff like this needs to stop. School shootings themselves, these are, elementary school kids.
The babies, man. They're babies. I got 2 kids myself, man.
Yeah.
It breaks my heart just to know that innocent children in their classrooms it's despicable. It's a disgusting world we live in, and we hate to see things like this be so normalized and desensitized in how we consume these things. This should not ever feel normal, and I hate that it does. But that's why you got to appreciate the things in this world like sports that can help distract us from all the terrible and sick things that goes on a daily basis worldwide. That I appreciate being a fan of sports for reasons like yesterday, man.
Yeah. I think we can all, we remember middle school and elementary school, just like bullying was just, it happened. You were called fat. Oh, you laughed about it, you cried about it, and you moved on. You called ugly. 5 minutes later, you're friends with that guy again. We don't condone it. We don't support it. Obviously, we want everyone to, be friends, be friendly. We said, we obviously we say the same thing with other fans. As much as we want to, bicker back and forth, it's all out of respect, out of love, camaraderie. But again, prayers out to those communities, prayers love out to those families. And I don't want to say hope, things should get better, but things like that, like Rio said, we get so desensitized, so normalized. We hear about it, and 10 minutes later, it's like, oh, what's the next thing to hear about? It shouldn't be normal.
Regardless of how it stops, it's got to stop.
Absolutely.
Let's not kick it off on Saturday. I know obviously we're out to that community, but we do have big news coming out of the owners' meeting. Big news coming out of just yesterday morning. I'm gonna kick it off with what kicked off the week. Lamar Jackson demanded a trade March 2nd. We are 26 days. You guys will see this either on Wednesday or Thursday. So a legitimate full month has gone by since he sold Baltimore. I want out. I want to trade. They've not since moved any stones, not moved any pawns on that chessboard. Harbaugh obviously thinks he'll be, the quarterback going into the season. The GM thinks he'll be the quarterback going into the season. But there are teams with ammunition who could go get him. Detroit, Atlanta, Carolina, Seattle. We are not in that conversation. Mayhew and Rivera have both since said so, that they know they both A, believe in Sam Howell, and B, have him and Brissett as a competition going into the offseason.
Yep, I think the Colts, I'd add the Colts to that list for Lamar too. But yeah, man, like I keep telling the fans on Twitter, man, let it go with Lamar. I love Lamar. Lamar is one of my favorite players in the league, electrifying superstar. We should be in the conversation for Lamar, but we're not. Take them for their word. Like everybody's like, oh, Ron is just putting on a poker face. I'm trying to listen to me, Washington fans. We've seen Ron here now for going on 4 seasons. What kind of poker face Ron got? Whatever's on Ron's mind, he speaks it. And if he doesn't speak it, he misspeaks it, because almost everything that he says has to be walked back, retracted, or redacted the next day. They're telling you exactly how they feel. These are the cheapest bastards we've seen here, ever, as Washington fans here. We shop at the bargain bin disc. We thrift shop through the free agency period every year. And y'all think we about to go pay for a Ferrari? No, we keep it safe over here. I'm a Toyota guy. Toyotas are the most reliable cars in the business. We're bringing in Corollas, not new Corollas. We're bringing in used Corollas, because ones that we can get a lot of mileage on, ones that already got miles on them. We got used cars over here. We're not shopping for sports cars over here. And a move of that magnitude won't be made until new ownership is here and established, not immediately when they get here. So for those thinking, oh, new owners about to come in, they're going to change their mind about the quarterback. No, Lamar Jackson's not in the future or the cards for us, guys. It hurts. It probably doesn't make sense at all. And that's why media keeps hammering down, why aren't y'all interested in him? But we got to let it go at some point, man. He's not coming. We're not getting him. We're not even pursuing him.
Rio, you said it. I feel like this is exactly the thing that just splits our fan base apart, right? Like you said, just thrifting at thrift shops every year for players. I can understand both sides of the argument, of course. I've seen your tweets. I've seen your Instagram. I know you want them. Jonathan, you're for it, right?
I'm a split person in this. I've had this conversation with other guys. If it was a fully healthy 2020, Lamar Jackson coming off of no injuries, pay him the world. 10 games in 2 seasons alone. He's going to warrant $235+ mil guaranteed. And to get him, it's going to be 2 firsts. Well, let's be real. 3 firsts, 2 seconds, plus the money.
It's 2 firsts and a pick swap. But that third one is never it's not in 3 consecutive. You're swapping. You're pretty much it's almost
swapping.
Well, it's almost like a swap, because he's pretty much your first rounder this year.
Basically.
It's Lamar. And the thing is, I want him, but I put that conversation in the rear view a minute ago. We're not getting Lamar Jackson. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't need to be this crazy debate every single morning. Oh, you guys are stupid because you don't want to. I mean, it's not logical that we're not interested in Lamar Jackson, but it is what it is. And Sam Howell 2023, man, that's what we got on the roster right now, man.
Absolutely.
I hope Lamar gets his situation worked out, and I hope he gets paid, because he's more than deserving of all the money that it's going to cost and all the draft capital it's going to cost to get him. He's worth all of it, because he's a bona fide superstar, something we have not had here in any of our 3 lifetimes.
No. Especially at the QB, especially at that QB spot, especially at that spot. Absolutely not.
I know, man.
It just surprises me seeing all these low-grade quarterbacks going way before him. I think that's really showing how crazy the quarterback market has gone. Just new contracts for really good players. Seeing teams saying, "Oh my gosh, we're not going to be able to afford this." Be great, right? We all agree on that.
Danny Dimes got $40 million a year.
He got $40 million a year.
It's just hard to pay quarterbacks that good. It's not something easy to do. So, but it's crazy how long he's been free agent, and just not worked a deal out. It surprises me.
And I think the kicker also is that he's not an unrestricted free agent, because that is the monkey wrench. Because if Ron was saying this and Lamar was an unrestricted free agent, I'd understand it. Like, go hold picket signs up in Ashburn. Because if he was just free to go sign with anyone without having to give up any draft picks, you just got to give him a contract, I think more than half the league would be knocking down his door, agent or no agent. But the fact that just to pursue him, you got to put 2 first-round picks on the table, and you got to do all the work for Baltimore, hammering out the parameters of a deal. That's what makes it difficult, and that's why his situation is unique in comparison to the rest of the free agent crop of quarterbacks. So that's why his situation is like unlike anything we've seen right now. Deshaun Watson was a complete trade, and Lamar's is a franchise tag and deal, non-exclusive tag and deal situation. It's not as cut and dry or black and white as trade me. So, I mean, I hope they get that worked out. But to be such a well-run organization, they look like they're a mess right now. Look at us. Look at us being more organized than the Ravens. Look at us.
Yeah. That's an issue. Like, this is what Lamar's thinking. I got all this money in my check now. So y'all are just gonna empty your pockets right now for me. If, like you said, if he was unrestricted, half the league, I think the Raiders would be better. I think obviously Carolina, the Saints would be better. The Bucks would be better. The Giants would be better.
Every team without a superstar quarterback, just plug him in there. They're better.
Yep. There's probably 6 to 8 true teams with this number. Kansas City, Buffalo, Cincy, Pittsburgh to a degree. I like Kenny Pickett a little bit. Philadelphia's got Jalen Hurts. So there's about 5. Everyone else, where's my money? Where's Lamar? You're telling me Jerry Jones wouldn't be crawling to John Harbaugh saying how much money?
Dak's not great, but Dak is a good quarterback.
He's good.
He's really good. Like he's the tier down from like upper echelon quarterback. Yeah. He's in that next tier with guys like Kirk and that really good, but just not elite. There's something missing there. There's a flaw to the quarterback, but they have something they have a franchise quarterback.
You got a guy.
That's something we've been in search of our entire lives here, and we're hoping it's this guy, Sam Howell 23. Rep it.
Pray and
hope. Give him this shot while he's on that rookie contract. Don't want to waste his chance here. Yeah, got to see what he's got to have.
Exactly. And Brissett's not going to be a bad guy to bring. Andrew and Justin, I've been saying Brissett for the longest to bring in as a vet. He's older, a little bit wiser than I think Heineke, just because, experience-wise. And he's not going to bring the distraction of Heineke. Like, who's giving up Jacoby Brissett chance?
Nobody. Even though he's a great guy. He's a great glue guy, great locker room guy. Never want to see him play, though. Never want to see him play. See, that's the thing with backup quarterbacks. Like, our fan base became so fixated on Heineke. Like, fam, we don't want to see the backup quarterback play. Like, when Wentz went down last year, I was like, people calling me crazy on the show because I was like, Heineke should play for 2 weeks while they prepare Sam, and Sam should get the ball for the rest of the season. Because at that point, we 1-4. We went to 2-4 after that game.
Yep.
And Wentz breaks his finger, and I'm sitting here like, how the hell are they not getting the kid ready now? Yeah. We have already seen a big sample size of Taylor Heineke. We had seen almost 20 starts at that point. Like, why the hell wasn't Sam prepared? It should have been Heineke, hold it down for 2 or 3 weeks while we get this kid prepared to step in. But, things are a little bit ass backwards here, and the decision making is very dicey. But we love the squad, and we want to see him finally take that next step and be a consistent playoff team, man.
Absolutely. I thought even for the one game he did have against Dallas, one pick, I figured that was going to happen. Interception as a new guy coming in to your first start, whatever. But you beat Dallas, what was it, 26-6, 26-10, something like we blew them out.
And we left like 17 points on the field too.
Yeah, we did. Goddamn right we did.
And that pick was just literally from a lack of experience. If he had gotten more reps in, seen the field more, that would not have been an interception. That would have been a touchdown. That was just lack of experience there.
And I don't even really like, honestly, I don't care about good quarterbacks throw picks, man.
Yeah.
Like, Rodgers is like the only quarterback in the history of the game that does not throw picks. Like every quarterback you can literally name throws a bunch of picks. Like if you look at Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, and Tom Brady's resume, there's a whole lot of interceptions, especially in their first 5 to 7 years. Whole bunch of Peyton Manning had like 100 picks in his first 5 seasons. Like it happens, bro. Because the good ones though, they shake it off. They have short memory. The good ones will throw 3 picks in a game and still lead you on a game-winning drive, man. Like I'm not worried about that. Show me how you bounce back from it, man.
Yeah. I mean, Andrew, I literally just said what I said was Trevor Lawrence literally against the Chargers last season threw 4 picks in 1 half, and then brings your team back 30+ points to win the game, and then have a great game against Kansas City.
He's special.
They got a guy.
Says a lot.
Vince McMahon voice. He was special.
That's good shit.
I wish we had one of those, man. But we're hoping that we do have one of those, because we have a guy that's in a very unique situation. That's not a 5th round pick that, for some reason, because of the stench of the quarterback class, which is going to make a lot of people look crazy, because there's going to be like 4 or 5 of them starting this year. And they have a big opportunity to prove the whole narrative wrong. Sam Howell got the narrative of this is a bad quarterback class. The league went with it. Everybody went with it. And he fell to the 5th round because of it. And there's really no reason for it. He should be treated like the normal 5th round pick, because that's a productive, highly productive, skilled, and refined quarterback that we got on day 3 of the draft.
Yeah. I mean, literally, if it wasn't for that draft class itself being just a relatively all right draft class, he would have been a 3rd, 2nd round pick as a talent, talent all around. Mel Kiper said something about him last year, like if it wasn't for his down year at Carolina, because he lost like Javonte, he lost Diame, he lost his OC.
It wasn't even his down year wasn't even that down. Like he still had 24 passing touchdowns, 800 rush yards, 11 rushing touchdowns. Like his down year is way better than Levis and Richardson.
Yep.
While losing his top receiver,
who
now reunited with.
Yep. De'Ami Brown, Daz Newsome, Javonte Williams, Michael Carter, and his center. The first week of that season, lost his center for the season. He lost 4 players in the NBA and his starting center. The line was in flux and still did numbers. The second most efficient quarterback in ACC history behind Trevor Lawrence, but he didn't hit the genetic lottery, and that is why people let him slip. If Sam Howell was 6'3", 6'4", he would have went first 2 rounds easy, because he had a better college career than Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett got hotter at the right time. Kenny Pickett's more prototypical NFL size. Like it's stupid stuff. Like they get convinced with the wrong things, and when you don't hit the genetic lottery, like Sam Howell's a better college prospect than Will Levis and Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
They're about to go top 10 in the draft, and Sam Howell had to wait to pick 144, because that's how it goes. They're looking at size is a trait. It's a skill. Size is a skill now. Like it's viewed and critiqued like a skill. And Sam Howell, 6 foot, he got a nice stocky build. He runs hard. He could take the punishment, but he's considered undersized, and that shit, it matters to certain people. And
it does.
Hopefully the league done messed up and we actually got our guy. I'm fingers crossed. I'm repping it, man. I'm ready.
Got that t-shirt.
Absolutely. Hey, to me, it's the same argument with Hendon Hooker this year. Is he had a down, injury happened. He's going to fall to the 2nd round. Not for the injury. To me, he's the Heisman Trophy winner. I still give Bryce Young the #1 overall pick, but pair him up with whoever gets him. Like if Seattle takes him at 20, Hendon Hooker sits behind Geno for a year, rehabs well, and you have DK, Tyler Lockett, Kenneth Walker, Noah Fant, a good O-line, a very young defense. Pete Carroll is a pretty good head coach. I mean, he made Geno look like a Pro Bowler. And your division's got the Rams in a rebuild, and it's got the Cardinals in a sticky situation.
They're about to be picking first next year because Kyler's about to miss most of the season.
Yeah.
So my thing I don't like that spot for Hendon Hooker unless he's ready to go in the first year or so, because Hendon Hooker's like 100 years old, bro. Like this is like a 7-year super senior, bro. He's gonna be 26, 27 first time he touches an NFL field. And I feel like the age means more than the injury. Because if even with the injury, if he's 22 years old, he's still going first round based on what I saw this year. Like he would still go first round easy, but it's bad ACL injury happened at the end of the season, meaning he may miss the start of, like he may miss camp in the offseason program. You know that's needed for a rookie quarterback. And he's 26 years old. Him and Stetson Bennett old as shit. They're Lamar Jackson's age going into their rookie season. Put that in perspective. Lamar's finished a whole rookie contract. These guys haven't taken one snap, same age. That's crazy.
It is.
I like the player though. I definitely like the player. The age is like, his rookie contract's up. He's 30. You're like, shit.
You're like, what do I do with this? Most O-linemen go through this contract.
Oh yeah, that shit's crazy, man. But
it is ridiculous.
I like the player, and I would not be surprised. Mike Tannenbaum had him going 5 to Seattle in his mock draft.
I saw that. I was like,
who had him going 5?
He had
Mike
going 5.
Tannenbaum had Hendon Hooker going 5 to Seattle on his mock yesterday.
Yeah,
that's a joke.
It went Young, Stroud, Anderson, Levis, and then at 5 with Seattle was Hendon Hooker.
Wow.
1, 2, and 3 are almost a lock. You can interchange 1 and 2 at this rate.
Yeah.
So I think the Colts go Richardson. They're gonna want to season him up.
Oh, I think Arizona's coming out of that 3 spot. I think it's gonna be quarterback to start the draft. I think all 4 of them are gonna be the first 4 pick. I think it's gonna be a bunch of quarterbacks called early, and then the players start going because it might even be the Colts. They might get thirsty and say somebody might jump the 3, so we need to get on the guy. It's gonna be a bunch of Hendon Hooker going top 5 as a 26-year-old coming off of ACL tear. That would be one of the wildest things I've seen.
It would be.
That's not happening.
I don't see it happening. If he went between 25 and 32, I can see more likely because you have New Orleans right there. Yes, you have Derek Carr for 4 years.
But a 5th-year option.
And a 5th-year option, but he's only going to get you so far. You have Pittsburgh right there at 32. You have Houston right there at 33. You have Arizona right there at 34. You have Carolina again at like 35. If Arizona really wanted to and moved back and they wanted Hooker just to have him on the roster, they can get him in the 2nd round.
I wouldn't be mad at that, but I think he's gonna slide into the end of the 1st round. Now I can see it because the character is unmatched. He has great character, personality. He probably picks up, but something weird about we were talking about it in me and my boys group chat earlier. Hendon Hooker never takes like a conventional drop back out of the shotgun. Like I know everyone in college comes a shotgun. When you watch him again, pay attention to it. Like he never takes like a 3-step, 5-step drop out of the shotgun. He does this hop thing. Like he catches the snap and he just hops back on his back foot and then he looks for the throw. He does it like 95% of the time and it bothers the hell out of me. I don't know. I'm weird for it, but I don't know what his footwork looks like. I don't know what it looks like when he crosses his feet and he backs up to throw it because every time he catches the snap, he hops back and he's just like in posture to throw it already. And it's weird. Like it's next time you watch him, watch that and see if that bothers you like it bothers me.
It's weird hearing it, but it.
Ballers, hold up. We got a few sponsors we need to personally thank for here at Ballin and Burgundy. First, our guy Washington on the Daily, both on Instagram and YouTube. Huge sponsor. We want to give our massive thanks out to them. You can follow Washington on the Daily, both on Instagram and on Twitter, WSH on the Daily. Our guy Tony, who's Pro Tech Sports Network. Huge thanks to him. I met up with him at the Commanders Vikings game. Huge thanks to him. Our guy Sanchez at On the Warpath podcast over on YouTube and on Instagram. And then finally, our guy Rio Robinson, Mr. Rambling with Rio himself, our new sponsor, and a huge thanks to him. Met up with him at the Vikings Commanders game as well. Said thank you to him. Again, huge thanks. So again, all of their Instagrams and YouTubes are going to be down in the description. You guys go follow all of them. And again, one big thank you to Rio, Tony, Sanchez, watching on the daily, for being sponsors of not only today's video, but Ballin and Burgundy as a podcast. Get back to work.
And now we return you to our regular scheduled program.
It works for him. It really does.
It does. And there's the dual threat thing going. He has a cannon. Like, I get it. I like Hendon Hooker. If he was not 100, if he was not 100 years old, I'd be with the shits. But
yeah. And his backup too. His backup with Milton, who came in for the last game at Tennessee, he looks really good too. Just I'm gonna shout him out real quick. But speaking of money and contracts, 2 ownership groups have officially bid $6 billion on the Washington Commanders. The first group was the Josh Harris group, pairing up with NBA legend, who is also a very positive man in Magic Johnson. Yes, I made that pun. But the second man was that Canadian entrepreneur in Steve. Oh God, I hate this last name. Opistolopoulos, whatever his last name.
Apostolopoulos. I think it's Apostolopoulos.
We'll go with it. But yeah,
Steve Apostolopoulos. That's how it is.
Apostolopoulos. We're going with it. But they have both bid what Dan was asking for in $6 billion. Now the franchise was put at about 4.5, 4 3/4, according to Forbes, which for what Denver went for, it's about what I think we were average at 3.5, so the asking price at 4.5 starting is about right. Putting up 6. We're waiting on the other shoe to drop, whether Bezos comes in or not. Worst case, you've got 2 legitimate offerings at $6 billion. Who do you like more? Do you like the group of Harris, Magic Johnson, and then his little circle, his posse? Or you go with the guy from Canada, who no one's really ever heard of, unless you're in that market, and he's either going to A, move the team to Canada, or B, he's going to bring something Canadian to us. It's going to be one of the two. Let's be real.
Hopefully the latter.
Hopefully the second one.
I'm rocking with Harris, Rails, Johnson 100%.
Yeah.
That would seriously be such a big get for this team. They've done lots of other things for other organizations in DC, outside DC. Turn things around for the better. Good 3-way buy. Magic Johnson's. I mean, I don't know too much about him, but he'd be fun to have partial ownership. They'd be amazing. I know like nothing about the Canadian guy, but definitely not my first option.
No.
Yeah. I like the pairing of Josh. I like the trio they got with Josh Harris, Mitchell Rails, and Magic Johnson. They check off a lot of the boxes the NFL is looking for when it comes to ownership. They have ties to the area from Chevy Chase in Bethesda, Maryland. They have ownership experience. Josh Harris owns the Philadelphia 76ers, Crystal Palace of the Premier League, and the New Jersey Devils of the NHL. Magic Johnson has minority stakes in the Dodgers, the Sparks LAFC, on top of the fact that Magic Johnson is the most charismatic and likable guy in all of sports. Like his smile, his presence alone, like just imagine the difference, the fluctuation of what a press conference looks like being held by Magic Johnson in comparison to being from the dweeb, the socially awkward dweeb, Daniel Snyder with his happy Thanksgiving joke that no one understood. And like, you have not built up enough rapport and relationships and equity with the media or fans to come out making a joke to start a press conference. Nope. The difference in charisma, the difference in professionalism between those guys. And Mitchell Rails is a very respected businessman in the DC area in the art category. And I like that too, because I'm thinking new stadium, a guy that has ties to architecture and art. That all makes sense. These are guys, that pairing just makes sense. The only thing we're waiting, we don't know anything about this Greek Canadian guy, Apostolopoulos, however you say his last name, it's a handful. The last name alone makes him a no for me, because we're just going to have to call him Steve A. And no, the only Steve A I need in my life is Stephen A. Smith. I'm good on that. And all we're waiting for is the last domino to drop. And that's whether or not Jeff Bezos is going to step into the picture, because if he doesn't, Josh Harris has this shit in the bag, because not only do they check the boxes from a business and experience standpoint, Magic Johnson as a minority owner checks the diversity box. They check all the boxes of an ownership group, and it has star power. Come on now, and ties to the area. That's the home run group. That's the guy who's been vehemently chasing after this team after he was this close to acquiring the Denver Broncos before Walmart came in and said, we're Walmart, our money's different than yours. So I would hate to see Bezos do the same thing to him and see him get to the finish line twice after scraping up $6 billion to bid on the nation Capitals football team, man. I think Harris gets the team.
Yeah, definitely. And we're not trying to put disrespect on, on Steve A and his last name. We're not trying to do that. I just don't know how to pronounce his last name. I just a Papadopoulos, whatever it is. But I think, like you said, Harris, Johnson, all that just ties it. I'm an art major, so I'd be all here for it. Get us back to RFK. Let him develop, the dome and the nice, pretty details. Let Washington be what we were in the 90s, the 80s, as these dominant powerhouses and not Snyder's playpen. Snyder is just, I just need to feel real quick. I just need to get my rocks off. Like, come on now.
The day Snyder sells is going to be one of the greatest days in Commanders history.
It's going to be pandemonium.
No, it'll be one of the greatest days in NFL history. Put that in.
I know, it's crazy because this goes outside our fan base. Like, the other 31 owners cannot wait to get him the hell out of the paint, man.
No, they do not like him.
They don't. Like, Jerry Jones even just said, like last night, the owners meeting, like, he knows what's in the Mary Jo investigation, and he's hoping and praying and wanting that goes through, and everyone sees Dan's a piece of shit.
Yeah, Dan sucks, and everyone knows it. Like, there's such an unease and discomfort when other owners talk about him. Like, he was once their boy, but he was always the ugly stepchild of the NFL ownership group. He's always trying to belong. He's always trying to fit in with the guys, but he just could never do it right. When you go out and give nose tackles $100 million and you're just letting people run amok of your organization, you're out here disrespecting, you're allowing the disrespect and advancing of women for 20 years. Like, come on, man. It's just a laundry list of an embarrassment. And you would forget that we are one of the more historical and revered, storied franchises of the league because what he's done in his 24 years in Washington. It's almost impressive how much he sunk such a proven commodity.
Yeah. I mean, he makes Vince McMahon and Shad Khan look like just God beings, God sends. And we know how bad they both are.
Oh, yeah. And the bar is literally in hell for the next ownership group. So that's why when people are like, oh, I don't really want this owner. Like, literally, if your name is not Daniel Snyder, you walk in the door day one more qualified than our last owner.
Yeah.
I'm with it, man.
I'm with it. Andrew, what are you thinking?
You said it. Perfectly said. We're gonna party once that day comes. We're gonna have a party. I'm excited.
Absolutely. At this rate, I don't care. I think Harris, Johnson, that whole group should absolutely get it. Will get it. And if Bezos does come in and get it, half the fan base will come in and burn Amazon down to the ground. I just want my packages on time. But that will happen. Let's be real. We love how diverse and like shattered this fan base is. Like, I don't want it, but I want it. But we'll kill them both at the same time. You know how this goes.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I'm excited if Harris's group gets it because Harris has the personality of a freaking pencil. So Magic Johnson's they're gonna gallivant him around to do all the speaking for the team. Yep. Like, Harris has this weird, like, Cockney sounding accent, and he talks real dry and he drags his words out like that. But he says he sounds impressive though. The things coming out of his mouth make a ton of sense, and it's better than Daniel Snyder, but it's very dry and it's not inspired. I don't know anything. I've never heard Mitchell Rails talk. But I imagine Magic's going to be put to the forefront to address the fans, inspire excitement and all that stuff, because Josh Harris, he kind of drags a little bit and he holds his words out when he talks and it sounds like...
It'll be interesting. I mean, the fact that RG3, one of the more prolific guys recently in this business, now to me does a great job working for ESPN as a correspondent and analyst. To me, one of the best out there.
He's good. He's really great.
I mean, he said this recently within the last 24 hours of us recording and I'll put it on screen for you for our viewers. He said, I've been having some really great conversations with
He's
this group.
lying his ass.
He is, let's be real. He's lying, but it's great what he said. Led by Josh Harris and having the opportunity to come in on that ownership. I'm head over heels excited by that process, to be a player for that team, to not have my career go the way I wanted to, or the fans wanted to in that city, would be a full circle type of moment to come back and try to win and help that team and organization build a winner the fans deserve. That's something I'm really excited about. It's nothing I can announce at this point. The conversations are happening, and I'm really, really excited about the potential there. Of course you say that.
Oh yeah. Andrew, what do you think about this?
I'm sort of mixed. I'm stuck here because obviously I feel like it could be just something he's putting out there, something he's just tweeting. But if it's not, that's huge, right? That's like huge. I'm just excited. I'm right there along with them, praying about it. Let's get Harris, Rails, Johnson.
I'm excited about the ownership group. I'm just curious as to how RG3. I guess what he's speaking on is like more of like a shareholder situation, because I was doing the math and the math wasn't mathing over here. If he thinks he's going to be a part of an ownership group, 1% of this team equals $60 million. 1% of $6 billion is $60 million. So unless you got that hanging around, or you got some fine ass payment plan to finance that $60 billion 1% stake of the team, I'm not really sure how he thinks he's getting part of that. But maybe like the fans have their little ownership stakes in Green Bay, and you know how celebrities, they get these really small percentage of shareholders, and they're considered minority owners of like basketball teams and shit, like Usher with the Cavs, and I think Nelly with the Hornets, and it's random shit like that. I'm guessing that's what he means, because RG3 definitely doesn't have $60 million to be a part of the ownership group, which at 1%, if he bought 0.001% of the team, he would have to put up $6 million. He may have that on board, but that ain't even a full percent. That ain't even a full 0.5%. But bless his heart, RG3 is an interesting guy. Gave us the most magical year of our fandom of the team, but at times he can be a little bit of a tension whore. And this strikes me as an attention whore situation. Team's about to be sold. It's main character syndrome. Like, I always have to be a part of what's being talked about. And y'all remember the tell-all book like 18 months ago? It was like 15 months ago, the tell-all book where he's going to tell us about how he was also sexually harassed in the culture in the building. That book never saw the light of day. You want to know why that book never saw the light of day? Because it didn't exist. But RG3 wanted to be a part of the narrative. Oh, Washington, they're taking down Snyder and company. I got to be a part of it. He never put that damn pencil to paper. He never opened up the notes app on his iPhone. That book never existed. That book was a part of Robert's main character syndrome, having to be a part of the conversation. But it would be cool to have him be somehow a part of some shareholder situation, or see him like some of the other alumni, like Logan Paulson and Santana, and them be involved in the organization some more. I mean, he had to beg to get a varsity jacket, so we'll see. We'll see. Good luck to you, Robert. Get your money tight.
Yeah, unless ESPN's paying him $60 million for College Game Day and ESPN, I don't think he's got that type of bread. Although if McAfee's probably getting that bread the same amount as RG3.
Pat's getting the bag, man.
And I love me some Pat McAfee. Love me some Pat McAfee.
That's hilarious. You can't not dislike Pat.
He's great.
Some people do, and I'm like, you old head, get the fuck out of here.
Because some people are stiff. He curses during the show. Exactly, because he's supposed to.
He just makes listening to reporting and like football stuff like 10 times more fun, though.
Yep.
Yeah, he's cursing.
I'm not saying it's not fun, but the way he presents it, it's like, it's really fun. It's interesting to listen to.
He's fun. He's fun. And like, this guy is breaking the biggest news in the sports world wearing a wife beater. Like, how can you not like this guy? And his crew that he has with him, their cohesion, their friendship, the bits that they do live on air, it's perfect. That is what I imagine sports talk is like. That's what I like. I don't like all this buttoned up, manufactured and concocted script writing, first take type stuff. No, I like Pat McAfee style. That was part of the inspiration of why I wanted to do my own podcast, because I just like to talk shit. And sometimes, you know, it doesn't need to be so boring and stuff. We're talking about sports. We're talking about something that we love, something that's fun. Why does it gotta be so buttoned up? Watch CNN or Fox News if you wanted some buttoned up nonsense.
The funny thing is, he actually breaks like some of the biggest news, like that whole Aaron Rodgers stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that's all coming from him. Well, not these button up like professional reporters. Right? This is coming from him. I think that's showing something. I love it.
Breaking news and a wife beater and some Wranglers. That is crazy. Exactly. I love that. I love it. I love it.
Oh, him, AJ Hawk, talk to table, adding a AQ to the crew. I love it. I'll go watch stuff from like 5 years ago. Love it. I watched the JJ Watt interview like a month ago. Loved it. If could you imagine McAfee in our building? The morale boost he would give.
Every appearance he gets on the show is great. Like he brings out the personality of people you didn't know. Like he brings on Ian Rappaport like once a week, and Ian Rappaport's there like kind of breaking news and telling them what's happening. And he got Rappaport there cussing, chilling, like being his normal self. Like every interview, it's so like his interview style is so perfect because it's so conversational. And so we're just sitting at a bar, but we're still going to get the information that we came here to get out of you. I love it, man. I love what Pat McAfee does, man. He's one of the best in the game right now, man.
The best, whether it's him at ESPN, him on College Game Day, WWE, Rest NXT, wherever you find
our store got to be sick that he got out of their hands, man.
Yep.
But they saw, like Dave Portnoy even say, he was like, yeah, Pat got too big for us, and we knew that was going to happen early. He's a star, man.
Yeah. I mean, I love these players like Lawan and why did I just blank on Homeboy's name? Will Compton, the Bussin' with the Boys.
Bussin' with the Boys, yeah.
Love that show. It like all these the Von Miller show. Love that show. It's a good show.
The Kelseys.
The top New Heights podcast. You can love that podcast.
I love it, man. I'm here for all sports content.
All here.
I'm a fan of that type of content more so than necessarily listening to the radio. And I used to be obsessed with listening to like 980, 1067 and stuff like that. I still tune in every now and then, but honestly now I'd rather listen to fan and player pods. Like it's better that way, or listen to the media guys on their own platform because they give it to you realer on that platform. I want authenticity. I'm not trying to hear it. Like I don't want it to feel like I'm watching the news when I listen to my sports content, man. I like a little personality, man.
Yeah, even Stephen A's new No Mercy show got some good stuff on there.
He bothers me. I cannot stand.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's annoying sometimes, but he's fun to listen to. But he says a lot of stupid shit.
That just shows how like the sports media world has changed, right? I mean, it's gone from those professional, like monotonous reporters to very different now, more conversational, like Rio said. And
it's like forced, like controversial things like on ESPN and on these shows like Undisputed or like the show with stupid ass Whitlock in them. Like it's like they have to stir up a conversation. They can't just have regular debate now. It has to be like, ooh, what's gonna get them talking at 11 a.m. on Twitter today? Like it feels like they give them a script and they say, all right, you're the bad guy this week, LaShawn McCoy. I need you to go attack Eric Bieniemy on camera today. Yep. Like it just feels so manufactured and not authentic. It bothers me at times, but hey, I like to consume my fair share of sports content, so I'm here for it.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean the best example of that was the Kendrick Perkins and JJ Redick whole thing of, I'm not gonna call it out, but are you trying to be a little racist and say it's only predominantly white voters? No, that's what he wasn't saying.
Yeah,
but there might have been like a shred of like somewhere mixed in.
Kendrick Perkins may be the worst media personality. I don't know who decided that we were gonna put him on to. Maybe LeBron put his resume in the ESPN or something, but Kendrick Perkins should not be on TV talking about sports at all, man. Nope. He's so bad, and he doesn't even have a good voice for it, man.
No, get him and Hollins, that dude.
Oh yeah, he's bad. Ryan Hollins.
Thank you, Ryan. I almost said Matt Collins. Like, no, he's in the league.
Matt Collins, the receiver.
I'm like, he's in the league. I'm trying to think of somebody who's not in the league. Thank you. It's so weird. It's like some of the first take segments, great. Other times, I can't watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Undisputed, 50-50.
That shit is just pure entertainment to me. Like, I really could care less what they're talking about. I love to see them just argue. That it's funny. Like, they're such a good pairing because they're so drastically different and so drastically like characters. It's fun to watch. Like, I get why that show works. Like, I totally understand how Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp works and how ratings are boosted on their show and how every conversation trends online.
Yeah.
First Take is like a work in progress. It's like Stephen A and whatever person they want to recycle through ESPN that day. It's a weird situation. They've kind of lost their formula. It's Stephen A versus the world on that show now.
It is.
Hey, I just like my local team content, but when I need I like to hear my national stuff too, because I like to hear how off base the national media is about our team. They have no idea what's going on here.
They don't, and I love it. Oh, and the other podcast, the Pivot podcast with Ryan Clark, Fred, and Channing. Love that.
Love that one.
I got, like, to me, that might be my favorite outside of, like, just the guys in our, this kind of commander circle. Pivot podcast. I love that podcast. Shout out to them.
It's really good.
But like these sound bites from Ron and from Mayhew these past like 2 days have just been boggling out of my mind.
Off, yeah.
Like they said, Chase's fifth-year option. It's a delicate situation. Is it really? Produce or trade?
Yep.
To me, it's like, oh, you're 20, you're not in the you're a fan. Yes, a fan who's passionate. God damn it, a fan who's had nothing but tears of despair, misery, mid Mondays. Y'all remember the tie? We had a tie this season. Rio was here with us. It was Misery Monday.
I don't even know how to feel it. That meh Monday after the tie, like, I honestly would rather lose than the tie game, because a tie just feels like we all wasted 4 hours on a Sunday that we should probably have back. Like, there's no finality to it. Like, I don't like it. It's like, what did we just do here? Like, that was weird. That was weird. But Ron and Mayhew, listening to them speak, it's not surprising to me. So I don't get as disgusted as I used to with some of the things that there's just one. I would describe Ron's whole tenure here by one sentence that he said today at his media scrum at the owners' meeting. He said, "We're just beginning to start roster building this year, in year 4 of your tenure here. We're just now beginning to build the roster. We're starting roster building in 2023." That made my eyebrows perk up a little bit, but then I had to think, this is the same guy who didn't know we could be eliminated from our week 17 playoff game. So why do things surprise me at this point? Bless his heart.
Yeah. We got everything we need right here in this building. No, you don't. If that was the case, we would have gone 13-3 every season like Green Bay has under LaFleur. No, 7-7 or 7-9, 7-10, 8-1.
We ain't won 9 games since Kurt in 2015. Like what are we doing? Like, what are we really doing, man? Like, the first, it was the 3 to 5 years to build a culture. Then it's in year 4, we have just started roster construction. What are we talking about, Ron? See, I don't hold these things against him because I honestly don't even know sometimes if Ron realizes the things that he's saying, because and then him and Mayhew, they're not in lockstep. Like, they kind of say things that contradict what the other one said. It's almost like they go into these press conferences with no prior conversation prefacing what they're about to say. It's kind of like, hey, say what you got to say. Tomorrow I'm gonna do the same thing. It's like they don't even watch each other's presser. They just go out and just say things. Like, Mayhew was like, hey, Sam's the guy. We think Sam's going to be really good. Like, Sam is the dude, and we don't view him like a 5th round pick. And then Ron's like, whoa, we're not calling Sam the guy. Like, he's going to have to go. It's an open competition between him and Jacoby, and we're not giving anything to Sam. Like, listen, man, I understand that you gave a job to Haskins because the owner told you to, and he ended up stinking up the joint. But let's call a spade, bro. Sam is not in a real competition with Jacoby Brissett. And if he, for any reason, is not starting when the season starts, the season's an abstract disaster off rip if Jacoby Brissett wins the job. Because what are we doing if year 4 we're going into the season with Jacoby Brissett as the starting? Like, what are we even doing? Yeah, so that's what we didn't get in the Lamar conversation because we want to start with Jacoby. And the worst part about that is that Jacoby Brissett is not a world beater, but he's adequate enough to keep you in that 6 to 8 win window that we cannot get away from. And that is my biggest nightmare of this season, because I need the season to go one of two ways. I need us to win 10 plus, go to the playoffs, and Sam stamp that he's the starter, or I need the season to be a freaking disaster. I need us to go like 2-15, 3-14. The roster's too good to do it, but I need one or the other. I cannot watch another 6 to 8 win season. Like, it disturbs me, because that is the worst place to be in this league, is in the middle. Bad teams are rewarded with the top picks in the draft. Good teams are rewarded with a ticket to the dance. And once you got that ticket to the dance, you have a shot to do anything. Magic happens. We've seen it before. We've seen wildcard teams win a Super Bowl. You cannot be picking like 13 through 19 every year and expecting to make a real difference. You're never going to get the one thing this franchise has not had in all of our lifetime: a franchise quarterback. It has to be Sam, or this season has to just go to hell. Yeah. That's the way I feel about 2023.
I'm with you. I can't be stuck in that 6 to 8 window anymore. If that does happen, or worse, I'm going to start printing out some t-shirts. Instead of saying Howell 2023, I'm going to say Bieniemy head coach 2024. That's what I'm on.
He got to earn that too, though. He got to earn that too. Because if they can't get Sam ready and that offense is looking, then he may have to join Ron on that struggle bus that's headed up out of here once these new owners got a year under their belt. But I think EB is going to excel here, man. That was one of the few things that I liked about the press conference. They said EB's running offensive meetings with the coaches at 7 a.m. every day, and he's bringing a new type of energy. EB is a hard ass. Like, I fear for the players that don't like to be hard coached. There's some guy, I'm not going to call them out by name, but fans probably know who they are. There's a couple guys that they're not really receptive to hard coaching. They better pack their big boy pants, because this man was talking to Eric Bieniemy. I mean, he was talking to Adrian Peterson like he was one of us when he was in Minnesota. Like, Adrian Peterson, the best running back in the league, he was talking to him like he was a peasant. Like, he expects certain things out of everybody, and I think he's going to be one of the best things that's happened to this organization in a very long time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the fact that Terry was there, Jahan was there, some O-lineman was there, some defensive, I think it was mostly the O-line guys were there, and Terry's like, I'm ready to be coached hard. You want guys like that. You want your captain there saying, I want this. I need this. Because it's going to show guys like Dion, it's going to show guys like Dax. It's going to show guys who are going to come in saying, hey, we're going to be working hard and hard working. Not, man, I got practice today. I got 5 more minutes. You better be there. You better be there before coach is there.
Absolutely. I feel like someone, Lake Lewis Jr., guy on Instagram, Twitter, great reporter. He posted something today that I would love to point out. It was yesterday. He said, regardless of who's won at quarterback, the Commanders could win 3+ more games than last year just because of the play calling. This offense is 100% better under Bieniemy, regardless of any other factors. Also referring to the Vikings game from last year, Howell is going to be the biggest benefit from this. I mean, seriously, just getting rid of Scott Turner and replacing him with Bieniemy, plus a rookie prospect quarterback, sale of a team. We have no clue what's going to happen, but it could be really good. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and like the point you were just making, that was a good point that you and Lake made, is that there were 4 wins on the table that we gave away this year. The 2 Giants games, the Vikings game, and the Titans game. The Titans game, we choked on the 1-yard line with an interception. The Vikings game, Taylor Heineke threw the game away in the 4th quarter. And don't get me started on the 2 Giants games, because it's absurd that we didn't sweep them. 4 games. That is the difference between 8-1 and 12-5. 10-point lead in the 4th quarter versus the Vikings, who had 1 loss at the time. The Titans on the 1-yard line to win, not to tie, to win the game on the 1-yard line. We didn't give Brian Robinson the ball 1 time. The Giants game in New York, we had a 10-0 lead in the 1st quarter, and we had the ball on their 40-yard line in overtime, did nothing with it. In the 2nd game, we played the Giants coming off a bye week. The week after we tied with the Giants, we prepared for 1 team for 3 weeks and scored 12 points at home on primetime for the whole world to see, despite the fact that we turned the ball over a couple times, and our defense only gave up 10 points that night. Our defense gave up 10 points, and we didn't score enough points to win that game because Kevon Thibodeau scored a touchdown on defense, and that gave them 17, and we only scored 12. 12 points at home coming off a bye. Those 4 games make us 12-5. And despite how bad the offensive line may have been last year, there were enough plays on the field to be made if there was a quarterback there to make them. So the addition of Eric Bieniemy and Sam Howell alone should give this team 10 wins. Minimum, period. We cannot settle for 9, 8. No, this team has to win 10 games in 2023. 10 games is the floor. If it's not the floor, I don't know what to tell you, and get all these coaches and all these front office members the hell out of my organization right now. I've seen enough Sam Howell in college and in that 1 game in the pros to know he is much better than Carson Wentz and Taylor Heineke are. And if he's not, so be it. He's not the guy. We move on to 2023. Team has to win 10 games, period. That's how I feel about this season, man.
Yeah.
Wow. Perfect.
It's perfect. I couldn't say it better myself, and I'm not going to try. All I'm going to say is, like you said, it's either win or wash. You win 10 plus games, you win 12 plus games, or you lose 10, 12 plus games. You draft within the top 5, you trade up to number 1, you get Caleb Williams, you pair him with Evie, you pair him with Terry, you let him win.
Man, but let me paint y'all a magic. Let's go to Dreamland real quick. Let me paint y'all a magical scenario right quick. Daniel Snyder sells the team in April. We're going into 2023, the best roster and accumulation of young talent we've seen in our lifetime. Sam Howell outright stamps the starting job. We go get some more talent in the draft, right? And then we go 11-6 when the season starts. We win a playoff game, we get put out in a divisional round, but we hang in there in that round. So we win 11 games for the first time in our lifetime. They haven't won 11 games since the 91 season. My birth year, 91, when they won the Super Bowl, they were 14-2 and won the Super Bowl. We haven't won 11 games since then. We won 11 games. We get Dan out the building, and we get our franchise quarterback all in one season. And then we walk into the 2024 offseason with $85 to $100 million in cap space. Man, just what a time to be alive if we could actually make those things happen. It's like a dream scenario. The owner's gone, the team's good, you get a quarterback, and we're walking into next offseason with $100 million in cap space. You can't draw it up better. Dan selling the team opens up a door of karma that we have not had since he bought the team. I need it. I need us to cross our fingers, and we need to will this shit into victory, man. I need it, man.
Absolutely. This season is a turnaround season. I mean, this franchise, if we do everything right here and we show what we're capable of with under these new changes, we're going to gain a lot more respect from the NFL. You want to...
I don't know what to do. I hope Dan's gone. Hope, pray, And it is literally a statistic. We were we were a top 10 NFL team in the 90s. And as soon as 1999 hit and Dan buys a team, ticket sales go down. Home attendance goes down. Beer prices go up because we can't afford to keep the beer intact. Player morale goes down. Wins go down. Front office goes down. The allegations keep rising. Here we are, 2023, and we're ready to sell the team. We sell that team. If we did the dream scenario Rio did, I'd be happy with my lifetime. I saw 11 wins. I saw a playoff win. I see a franchise QB. I'm happy.
Hell yeah, man! I'm telling you, that's the dream. Like in 1 year, if we could get this team, if we could get this thing right, it'll be the holy trinity of Washington football, culminating in one offseason. Dan selling, Sam Howell becomes the franchise quarterback, so we finally fill that hole, and the team wins 11 games, and then we walk into the next offseason with $100 million in cap space. It really does not get any better than that, and that is the standard we have to hold this team to in 2023. We cannot accept 7 or 8 wins. We cannot even accept 9 wins. Double-digit wins or be a disaster. I need us to be fucking terrible if it's not double-digit wins, period. And I'm going to hold them to that. I'm not going to change up. I'm not going to predict it, but it has to be that.
Turnaround season, no excuses. This has to be the year. Everything. It's coming up.
100%.
110%. I'm just gonna hit up a quick kind of last minute topic before we gotta let things go. And Rio, again, I can't thank you enough for coming on.
No problem.
Sort of last minute. The NFL did make a few rule changes as of this afternoon with the players committee. So as the biggest one, per our division rival, the Philadelphia Eagles, we are now allowed to use the number 0 for kick. Here's the problem with that though. Is they amend rule section 5 and 1 to allow the use for kickers and punters for number 0. Now that all players can use number 0. So Christian Gonzalez, if he goes to Detroit, he could wear number 0.
I'm going to wear it here.
Exactly.
He's going to be
exactly. The adjustment to the instant replay reversal, that made a change. There was an amend to Rule 5, Section 1, Article 2 about the replay official jurisdiction to review all failed 4th down conversions. The competition committee changed the definition of a launch to leaving 1 or both feet. That's real interesting to me. They also changed to what a penalty is for tripping. It is now a personal foul. So if you trip, it's a personal foul. If you illegally hand the ball forward or anything consistent with legal acts, that's now an illegal forward pass. Illegal punts, drop kicks, or place kicks are now illegal forward passes. Any prevention of the offense from benefiting an extension of the half as a result of their foul, that was changed and is now official. And they clarified the use of the term butt, ram, and spear when it comes to the use of your helmet on players. I think most of these were needed. I think the 2 that needs to be changed the most: taunting, pass interference. Taunting is, I get it. If me and Rio are playing on the opposite end and I'm in his face, I'm yelling, screaming, spits flying, I push him, fine. I'll take the 15 yards. That's taunting. But if I'm clocking him on the other sideline and I just say, and then walk away, that's taunting.
A lot of that shit is dumb. Like people getting hyped, celebrating, and like let them have fun. It is a fun, like they're slowly starting to let the players have fun, and they're getting rid of all these stupid ass unwritten rules. Like, why the hell did it ever matter if a player wore a single digit at a skill position? Why the hell did it matter if someone wore the number 0? Like, or if your cleats didn't match 7,000 fine. I remember Sean Taylor and Clint Portis used to get fined $5,000 because of the color of their socks. Like, why? Like, for what? Like, what are we doing? This is not baseball. Like, what are we doing? This is football. This is a sport played with passion, played with heart, and played with swagger. Let them play. Let them be themselves, man. Let them have fun. But a rule that doesn't even affect the game that I think was a huge rule too, coaches hate like the turmoil and the rigors of all the different cut down periods, and they changed the cut break. There's only one cut day now, instead of having to go from 99 to 80, from 80 to 75, and from 75 to 53. Now, after the last preseason game, 99 to 53. Like, you just one cut day. You don't have to break it down throughout the off season. You just get them all up out of here, knock it out the park. Let's go to the regular season. Yep. I like these things. And shout out to the Eagles for their suggestion. They also suggested, I don't think it got passed, but they also suggested the thing that I hope comes to fruition one day, which is instead of an onside kick, attempt fourth and 20. They suggested 4th and 20 from your own 25 as the replacement for onside kick. I'd make the game more exciting. The XFL does it, and that shit is fun.
Yeah.
More stuff like that. Make the game fun, make the game exciting. Stop taking the fun out the game.
Yeah.
Make it interesting. Yeah. It's a competitive sport.
Definitely. Oh, the other thing that needs to change, I'm gonna look right down the list to these goddamn referees. Roughing the passer,
oh my God,
is a bullshit penalty. Where's my artwork? So I'm in a screen printing class in college. I'm an art student. I'm lonely. Yes, I know. The NFL is now the no defense league with roughing the passer. This is the prime example was Grady Jarrett and Brady. You sack him on a routine tackle. It was a beautiful sack. That's stuff
they be having their hands up and everything.
Yep. And all of a sudden, Brady's just like, hey, referee, come here real quick. If I slide you a 20 and Giselle's OnlyFans, can I get a roughing the passer? Yes. Woohoo! Like, that's what happened.
Because he's the GOAT. He gets what he wants.
Those roughing the passer thing. Like, I remember one time, one of the defensive, I forgot who it was. It wasn't our team playing, but it was watching a game, and they shoved the quarterback. The quarterback didn't even fall, but his momentum took him back like 2 yards, and they threw a flag for roughing the. I was like, what do you get out of throwing the flag for that?
Oh, it was Lamar who got put. I think it was Lamar who got pushed because he just like two steps back, and he was like, all right, all I hear is roughing the passer, number whatever, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down. I'm like,
they got to take like a referee workshop class on when to call roughing the passer, because it's very reminiscent of the replacement ref era.
Mm-hmm. Even if you just reviewed all 10+ yard calls and could challenge those, half these guys wouldn't be getting, like, TJ Watt would have broken the record if that, like, his last second wasn't taken back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you were making guys frustrated and keeping guys from making money and history, because I'm 65 years old and I don't get a paycheck. Let me call this guy out for a badass flag.
65 years old, man. You look good for your age.
Man, real pressure. Because these dudes are old. These guys are in their 40s to 60s as referees. Give me a 20. Give me D. Strong. If D. Strong was a referee, he would. Could you imagine him just hustling? He would have been able to stop the Dallas Cowboys from being the Dallas Cowboys in 2021 and creating the Great Wall of China, not let that one referee through. He would have just he would have jumped over Tyron Smith and said, "Give me that ball."
Oh yeah.
Just see him just. And they had like a second left, kick the field goal, but I'm not gonna play Dallas's downfall is my beauty.
That was hilarious. That was so funny. I mean, that was like the last play of their season. And then this season, they also had one almost just as embarrassing with Zeke lined up at center.
Zeke is
humbled. Nothing happened.
He got blown up by, was it Armstead or Warner? He just got
the wildest thing. That was his last snap as a Dallas Cowboy. And he was the one that did the snap.
And two seasons in a row that was their last play of the season. That's how
against the 49ers, against the same team.
It's ridiculous. Like, what were they thinking was going to happen?
Life comes at you.
That was hilarious.
It's the best. It is the best. But guys, that's gonna wrap things up here with Rio. Again, don't forget to hit like and subscribe here on Ballin and Burgundy. Don't forget to follow Rio over at Rambling with Rio on Instagram, Rio Robinson on Instagram, or Rambling with Rio on YouTube, Rio Robinson on Instagram. All the links down in the description. You guys see it on our thumbnails. We shout him out every time because he's one of our sponsors, one of the guys. He's family here at BIB. Can't thank him enough. Once again. Anything else you guys want to end the episode with?
That was fun. Thanks for coming on, Rio.
Hey man, anytime, man. Anytime, as long as I can fit it in. My schedule's a little hectic, man. I had to reschedule with y'all last week, but I always get back to y'all, man. Keep grinding, keep pushing it out, and keep the content passionate and real, man, because this stuff is fun. This stuff is a good time, and that's what it should always feel like fun. It should always feel like a distraction from your everyday lives, man. Enjoy this, man.
Definitely, guys. Once again, like, subscribe on his channel, on our channel. And don't forget to stay ballin'. We'll see y'all out there.